These are the following laboratory activities considered in this presentation: demos, DIY experiment or home-based experiment, simulations, oral report, and oral exam. Demos can be conducted either offline or online. Let's start with offline demos. These offline demos were designed for advanced chemistry courses, either for a pre-lab discussion or for the main experiment. These demos, which can be uploaded on the G drive or saved to a flash drive, will help students connect theories and lab practice. Assigning a pre-lab quiz can often address these concepts and be a great jumping-off point for the introduction or simply just a quick assessment. An interactive version of the demo is in Canvas, wherein you can arrange all your activities by creating vision boards. Let's check one of these boards and see how the demo will be used to finish an experiment. These are the content of the whole module: the copy of the experiment, the demo itself, the data given after each demo, contribution to a discussion thread that must be accomplished individually, and the submission portal for their output. This part includes objectives, materials, and a complete instruction of the experiment. A copy of the demo is uploaded in Edpuzzle. Edpuzzle is a tool that allows one to create interactive online videos by embedding either open-ended or multiple-choice questions. You can also use audio or comments on a video. You may scan this QR code to see a step-by-step process on integrating Edpuzzle with Canvas to keep all of your video lessons and grades in the same place. As you can see, scores from this activity were already summarized and arranged from lowest to highest. You can also reset students' progress in this activity. You will see below your video the number of questions given, and from this enlarged version of the video, notice how embedded questions popped out on the screen. Students may re-watch, skip, or submit their answers. If the student's answer is wrong, it will appear red in this timeline. Let's try another embedded question. This time, if the student's answer is correct, it will appear green, while questions that remain unanswered are all white. I also require students to contribute in the discussion thread. Kung clear lahat ng instructions from demo to data, then they can copy and paste this chill emoji. Kung may questions naman, they can use this raised hand emoji. And ang nakakatuwa talaga dito is makikita nyo na nagtatanong sila. Although time-consuming po talaga yung pagsagot, especially kung marami sa kanila yung nagtatanong. And for questions that require very long answers, recorded video replies are very useful. The output for this particular experiment is a formal lab report. In the submission portal, some journal articles are also given to be included in their discussion. This is an example of a student's work, including their scores and my comments on their work.
This is a service course lab activity created together with Ma'am Fatima Joy Cruz and Sir Marvin Palovelio. This is an integrated class, therefore the students have to know certain concepts from their lecture class before proceeding. A quick concept check would also be helpful in this activity. So for this activity, we prompted the students about the final output needed from them. Here, Ma'am Fatima Joy Cruz and Sir Marvin Palovelio created a video for the students to see how the isolation of lipids work. Here, the students have to be extra perceptive and observant to notice the differences that are happening with each of the steps, as well as to see the results of each of the assays that were performed, as these are not specified in the video. From here, the students will be discussing with their group mates about the methods as well as the results they have observed. This simulates the classroom interaction they usually find when there are face-to-face classes. The final output here is a formal report. This activity can also be translated offline by uploading all the necessary materials on the Google Drive. This is how the activity guide would look like, which walks the students through all the tasks they need to do. The final output can be submitted in the agreed-on format with the instructor.
Next up, DIY experiment.
This is a Chem 41 DIY experiment made together with Sir Avin Pelovelio and Ma'am Fatty Cruz. This is an integrated class, therefore, the lessons needed from their lecture class were highlighted before proceeding to the activity. The activity requires materials that are easily accessible from their household or from any grocery store. The protocol has to be simple enough for the students to be able to navigate on their own. Prompts are also incorporated to tune in the students into the results they need to observe. We ask the students then to submit a selfie with their setups as proof of their performing the activity. This is an example of that submission where the student can be as creative as possible in performing their selfies. From here, we ask them to share the results with their group mates through the discussion platform. After that, the final output is a data sheet. We then round off the activity with a summary quiz. We'd like to give a special shout out to the Buwis Buhay faculty and staff for the completion of this lab course pack.
Let's move on to simulations.
This is a laboratory activity designed for senior biochemistry majors using the courses at DPSM LMS. As you can see, the platform or the interface is different than that of Canvas. Here, we put in a module overview which specifies the tasks as well as the recommended timeframes the students has to do to help them pace themselves as well as to set their minds about the length of the activity. We put in a video, in this example it is Western blotting, to help the students visualize the experiment as well as a guide into the simulation. So here we put in a lot of the screenshots as well as instructions to help them navigate the platform. We've also put in some of the expectations or the output we expect of them to do by the end of the simulation. So this is how that simulation would look like. This is a lab exchange simulation, so it's quite fun because we can move around the objects, and it also has a results section as well as some questions integrated into the platform. So because this is an external platform, we had to ask the students to take screenshots and to submit those for grading. This is an example of that submission. The paper can then be checked using the online platform. We also ask the students to submit answers to guide questions as well as to perform a research critique based on a journal article that employs this technique. Some sample papers were also put in to help them perform the task. This is an example of that submission where we put in a feedback file so that the student will know how to improve their work. After that, as a class, we went through the paper through a Zoom meeting so that each of the students will have a chance to voice out their critique. Here are other resources that can be used for simulation of laboratory experiments. The last link is that given by ILC and the IMS at the start of the semester.
Next, oral report with discussion. First, let me share a portion of this course guide for this lab course intended for our BS Biochemistry senior students. An oral report is 10% of their grade. It is a 10-minute presentation of assigned demo that must be done by pair. Output will be uploaded to Canvas, and part of the final grade will be from a single-blind peer evaluation process. Detailed instructions for reporters, assigned evaluators, and the rest of the class were given in one of the announcements. On the home page, click Oral Report. Here you will see a submission portal, place for discussion, and an evaluation form format. Reporters are required to upload or paste the reports link in this submission portal. Their work would be graded using the given rubric. This is an example of a student submission using a YouTube link. Now let's go to discussion. The discussion is the most exciting portion of the oral report. As you can see, I posted the first comment and question. And syempre, nasagot naman nila ang question at kailangan talaga nilang sagutin kasi one of the parameters for evaluation is their ability to answer questions. As we go down here, you will see lots of comments and questions. And what I really like about this is how reporters answer the questions. Na-appreciate ko yung they use figures and they use book references to answer questions. Also, makikita nyo talaga yung mga queries or tanong nila is talagang pinanood naman nila yung report. Actually, the challenging part for this portion is for reporters to answer all questions before a set deadline. I usually give the class 3 days to post all their questions and the reporters 4 days to answer all those questions posted. Actually, on their 5th day is their oral exam. For the assigned evaluators, these are the contents of the evaluation form. Lastly, oral exam. Zoom link for the exam was given in one of the announcements. I utilized the breakout room feature with 1 student per room. Each student is required to answer 5 questions of different levels of difficulty and time allotment. The student is first asked to read the questions aloud and answer the question before the allotted time. At this point, the student verifies the question while reminding her that her time has already started. Actually, itong oral exam po na ito ay medyo nakakapagod kasi for a class of 13 students, inabot din ako ng around 2 hours. Well, actually kasama naman dun yung mga technical difficulties and naalala ko, may kinailangan pa akong tawagan sa phone na student dahil na-disconnect siya sa Zoom. But natapos naman niya yung oral exam niya. So, via phone na lang namin tinapos. Alright, that's basically everything about teaching laboratory classes. We hope that you get ideas that you may want to include this coming semester. Thank you for watching!